All right. Welcome back. This is Saturday's weekly reflection with Kenny. Let me get this out of the way. And we're back. This is my second week of the Me versus Me challenge here on Lot of Growth. And what are we gonna do today? We're gonna round up our week that has just passed. We're also gonna do our weekly goal review. We're gonna look through our three things, right? First thing is we're gonna look through the chart. We're gonna look through our weekly goals. The third thing, we're gonna do a little research on our edge, review on our edge and how we did over the last 12 months versus what we have been doing in the past month. And preparing for the start of the week again on Monday. So let's head straight into it. First off, a quick goals and reflection review. Similar to last week, I only took 4 trades on 4 trading days. 4 of them good trades, 4 of them straight wins, and 4 are net win. I went London, Asia this week. London trades are again very short and simple. Asia trades about 1.5 to 2 times longer, which means I just get to train my patience a little bit more in Asia, and I think the effect is getting better in terms of my ability to hold the trade without getting perturbed by knowing that I have a trade, and I can be calm inside and outside of trading. And as a reward, coach told me to take the day off on Friday. I took a paper trade. I still expected a buyer for Asia and London, and however the trade did not reach 1 hour, and the open trade was negative 0.3 hour at the close of Friday. Just to show you what I mean, let's head to the chart. So the week opened here at the yellow line and also the dotted orange. I saw Asia form. I skipped Asia expecting that the price would still go, but I had chosen my execution to be London, and certainly London continued to push very, very nicely. The same thing happened on Tuesday. Asia came, and this time I was expecting that the Asia and London trade would fulfill at the same point, and it certainly did. So I basically skipped about 6 hours of drawdown and only focused on the 4 hours of London drawdown. So that helped in keeping my mind simple, and the best part was, while I was waiting for London, I was not in a FOMO mood. You know, I was not trying to invent an entry. I was not trying to get into the market. I know that I'm just going to wait for London. Everything's going to happen then. Then came Wednesday, and we saw that the price hit the top, came back within, hit our magenta, gave a little turn back on into the high of Monday, which signifies that there's a consolidating market coming up. But as the momentum was big before, the next waves would be big as well. So I went Asia right away, knowing that London might fizzle out and turn back inwards. So Asia was a winner. London buyer would have been a loss. That loss information would have told us that this was going to be a buyer, a seller on Thursday, which we hit. And you can see that the range of Asia was tightening up. So come Friday, coach texted me in the morning and he said, take the day off, get ready for tomorrow. So I complied, and I was quite happy to not take this trade because it did go into profit, but the mark for Asia was 1546. So it dipped down. I think it hit like 7.7 hour reversal, and then it fizzled out, and currently sitting at 0.3 hour had I been in the trade. So definitely not a trade I want to hold overnight. And it's now that's the first day, 1, 2, 3 days of consolidation. So Monday is going to be rather interesting. I'll come back into the expectation and build up for next week, but a little bit later on. But let's go back into the goal reporting. So just to share, let's review what we did right and what we did wrong. I felt that through the week, the consistency with this session of pre-market was very good, and it helped me verbalize the things I was going to do before I did them. And this verbal commitment really does help me anchor myself. It's something that I've never done before. And the more I do it, the more I find that the commitment is real. And I'm not second guessing myself anymore. Versus when I'm just doing the checklist, writing the journal, I still leave myself a little bit of room for going off track, deviating. So that's why I put there, the pre-market focus was the first thing that I did right. And secondly, I followed that up with accountability with the journals and also reporting to coaches. Secondly, mistakes that I need to improve or areas where I need to improve. So I had a good run on Tuesday, like a physical run, 3 kilometers worth, but I didn't get any lower back workout or any meaningful stretches in. So I need to stress that and make sure that happens this week. Some accounts hit a stop profit on Thursday. The trade manager wasn't disabled there. So that's something I need to make sure that I go through the whole VPS and disable all the trade managers that I used to use back in the last quarter. And last other note is I passed the 12.5K evaluation in the first 10 days. So it was a smooth journey through smooth process, and it was helped with the market being so trending as it was. I'm certainly not expecting all my funded accounts or evaluations to pass within 10 days, but this is a good sign of how good it gets when I do get it. Now, let's head back to some statistics. At the end of the week, I will be actually updating this line down here, which is my current performance of the month. And this is off my DarwinX account. You can check the history of my DarwinX ticker. I'll share that in a future stream once I've completed this month. So one thing I want to share is these are my averages for the month for the preceding year. So let's try and focus a little bit with the data. Let me close all of that thing. All right. So what do we have here? The net profit P&L over the last year was negative 1,150. That's only on the trades. When we include all the commissions and all the swap, I think I was down 10%. So, and that was down to the fact that I took 403 trades over the last 12 months, which is an average of 34 trades per month. Now, over here on the right, we have some more statistics. The actual number of trades I need to hit is actually only 19.7, which is 20 trades a month, which is in line with my 1 session a day rule or 1 trade a day rule, which means that 14.9 or nearly 14 trades per month were over trades. And that's why this is the percentage of over trading, which is 41%. And along with that 41% of over trading, whether it was the extra trades impacting my ability to get the right trades in the systematic trades, or whether those over trades were in fact themselves wrong, I carried an error rate of nearly 34%, meaning 1 in 3 trades were already wrong to begin with, and I was fighting fire. So this was alluding to something that I was mentioning to my coach group's calls. I was telling them, we like to be a firefighter. We like to say, hey, I'm ready for any situation. I can get over any situation. Put me in a fire and I can put it out. So there are times that you get so overconfident that you then create fires that you want to put out yourself because there wasn't any other fire. So that's what I was alluding to when I'm saying, I don't want to invent any more trades. I don't want to create a fire that I want to put out myself. I just want to go and put out the fires that need to be put out. And I want to go into the market and collect the profits that I need to collect. So a little drill down on this error rate is the way I look at my trades. Because I take my trades by the session, I grade them by 3. Either by session out, meaning the price was going to leave the session range, or inwards, meaning it was going to flip back inwards on the session and within the previous day, or it was going to wick within the previous day's range. So the breakdown of which you can see it's quite uneven. And in fact, when I drill down further, I hit a 41% error rate when I'm trying to trade inwards. And this tells me that I'm particularly weak when I'm trading in a range or during consolidation. And also I'm 1 in 3 times wrong when I'm trying to do the wick within trade. And so far this month, I have not done any inwards trades because the market has been trending. I've done 5 session out and 5 wick within, 3 wick within, totaling 8 trades for a net error rate of 0, meaning I've got my directions right all this while. And mind you, I will also call a loss which is supposed to be a loss is not an error. That's not part of this data. A win that's supposed to be a win is not part of this data. But a win that is supposed to be a loss will be an error. That's how I'm measuring this error. It's not wins and losses. It is, did I follow the system and get the right result, loss or profit? So in some closing remarks, let's go back to the market and look at how I intend to capture the next week coming. We now know that this is the range for the previous week. We also know that this Asia range is now forming somewhat of a channel. And the last heading is still a buyer. I've not had my sell alerts trigger yet. Sell based on this red line. It'll only be seller when my aqua drops below the high and drops below the magenta for the seller. So that's something I'll be keeping an eye on. I'll be keeping an eye on the daily ranges. After this, boy, I'll be with you shortly. Come back in 5 minutes. I'll be watching the daily ranges, and I'll be watching the fact that should it break the daily range, it should then fill Thursday and eventually back to wick down and fill the week's low from last week. However, should that low break and then fail, we are then looking at continuation for the buy trend, at least back to last week's high. Whether it breaches last week's high and continue on a new trend, that will remain to be seen and something that we will look at on a day-to-day basis. We would prefer when the failure and the attempt at the breakout happens on the first half of the week, Monday, Tuesday. And should it go into Wednesday, we should still be all right. But come Thursday and Friday, we will always suspect that the price will flatten out and still stay within, forming a second consolidation week. So with those notes in mind, I'm going to enjoy my weekend. My boy just came for ice cream. So I'm going to go get some ice cream. I hope you guys will have a very good reflection of what your week has been past, and also enjoy your weekend along as well. Take a break from the market. You don't have to trade every day. You don't have to think about the charts every day. Tomorrow I'll be looking at my edge again, looking deeper into some backtest. We'll create some videos maybe, or tomorrow could be the break day with the videos, and we'll see you again on Monday bright and early with our pre-market on Monday. So that is it from me. It's coming up to 15 minutes. I hope you had some value through this session. I certainly did. Verbalizing what I've been thinking about all this week. Oh, before I run, there's one last thing I need to share with you, and that would be my commitment for the next week. So my goals for next week. Again, for habits and routines, I'm going to make sure I get one run next week and 2 workouts together throughout the week. I will be attaching a few funded accounts as well. And for my tactical refinement, I'm going to be studying how to scale into trades during the week rather than during the day. And I'll be refreshing my edge for the consolidation of the market. So we've done a little bit of that today. We're going to continue doing that tomorrow perhaps, and throughout the week, whenever time permits. And that should be it today. I wish you guys a very good weekend, and we'll see each other in the next stream on Monday. Peace out.